Yeah, hi team. Good morning, everyone. So hope everyone are doing great. So let's start for a day. So we will join. Let's join. So today's overall concept is regarding basically whatever we have done till now. So the basic theory concept. So apart from that, I'll teach you how to do a quick list. So we'll create a simple quick list once pick at a time, or else we'll go continue in the next class. So today's is basically just to understand about what we have learned. So in the deep. So I'm just going to start sharing. Hope everyone are completed till now, whatever the task and the assignment was given. So, so things we started. So building apps. So that was the module. So created building a simple app. So in that building apps, so creating objects, creating tabs, creating fields. So a lot of other things we have learned parallelly to the base tools, how the list we create, how the tab we create. So how the Lightning app builder we created. So this basically the record pages. So these are the basic requirement for any of the design pattern. So basically as a admin or even as a developer, right? So as a client, right? So these are the basic things they needed. So once you have it, so the overall details can be shown to the users. So this basically user interface. It's not it's that what I have created is must be in that way. So if you don't want to add, you can add it. So if you want to remove it, you can remove it. But I just want to show all the functionality which is been present in the particular the page there, the record pages. So here also nothing is mandatory. So if you want to design it in this way, you can have it. So even if you want to remove the buttons, all the buttons, you can remove it. So if you want to remove the related tab, you can remove it. So only details tab you can have it. So even if you want to add any additional tabs, you can have it. So a lot of things are still there to learn. So even highlight panel. So if you want to keep it, you can keep it, or else you can remove it. So if you want to hide it, you can hide it. So we have a lot of options to show it for the user.
Hello, sir.
Hello,
Yeah,
Shahid.
hi. Yeah.
Sir, what is the requirement of the highlight panel? And if we are not using that means 12 details are available there, right?
So we can hide in the edit page. So basically, right, highlight panel is what is the use of highlight panel is that so that whenever the user comes and visit, right, we don't need to go into details tab and see the what exactly the things is required. In the highlight panel itself, we can see the details, overall details. So because of that, we are having the highlight panel. So by default, you will get basically the college with the basically the object name with the field name.
Hello, Shahid.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, I'm not getting how to do edit page.
So edit page is there, right? So right now, if I go to, so basically we have two options. So as I said, right, from edit object, we can go and create the specific, basically the record page. Or else just whenever you're there in the record page, right? So basically this we say as a record page, or basically the overall is basically it's a like Lightning app builder. So we go to edit page. So once you open the edit page, right? So right
Yeah.
now it's like already we have exist. So if you want to have anything else also, right, we can add it. So basically, if you want to, so right now, if I say that we have created the compact layout and we have installed the highlight panel, but we don't want to show in the particular page. So just hide it. So it will be collapsed. So this will be only for the desktop only. So it will be hidden. So but for the as a mobile device, it will be showing. So right now, if you want visibility, right, of the buttons, right now if you want to add a spy. So it will show all the five visibility. So by default, it will be three. So
Okay.
this is a basically simple setup for the pages. Same thing for the tab. So basically, right, if you see this, right, this has a two tabs. One is details and related. So right now, if you want to change it to related at default, so automatically it will be changing. So right now, I'll just for a design, same design. So I'm just keeping details and the related tab in the same panel. Same thing
Okay.
for the this is a sidebar. So to activate it, just you need to save this. So for activation, just we click on activation, right? So we make it for not for the org.
Okay.
So if you make for the org, right? So I'll explain on that. So theory concept today. So if you assign for the org, so that will be for the all the apps. So we'll go with the app and we'll just assign it. So record type is there, profile is there to set up. So till now we didn't work on the record type and profile. So once we work on that, we can assign it to the particular profile to see.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. So this was all about the requirement. So right now, if I say that information is I don't want to have this particular label. So what I'll do, just go to edit object and go to the page layout. But I need a single column. So this should come in a single column. But this particular details is not required because already in the information we can see that. So what I'll do, I'll come down. I'll just remove the details page and click on open. You can see. So this all are like user interface. So based on the requirement, we can change it. So we don't basically it will take time to load. Yes, it will take time to load. No problem. So once I have it, basically it will be hidden. Click on it. So basically it is going to load. So it will show only the information and the system information. But this will be in the single column. The basic design. So if you want to change anything, this all basically user experience. So whatever you want to change based on the requirement, we can change it. So just to understand more, right? So I have given the steps how to create the app manager because a lot of people is asking like how to create and why they miss the particular steps. So you can follow the steps. So it's not important that you must apply the same logic. But right now I'm saying to use the same object, same name because we'll use in the different formulas field and basically when you use the relationship, it will be easy to understand. Or else you can create your own app and you can take the related fields and you can test it. So we have the basically these are all the same things which I have done till now. So you can just share how the presentation. So I'll share this PDF. So basically the simple concept. So I just want to explain on the basically the lightning apps. So this is a trial head version. So right now I'll not go in the deep on the trial head. So let's complete overall the basically the till the relationship. So let us show the trial head. So how to if you already started with the trial head is good or else I'll show you how to learn basically to have the overall concept of trial head. So basically we require for the certification part. So what is a lightning app? So as an app collection of items that works together to s- serve a particular basically particular function. So in lightning as experience, right? So lightning apps give you users access to the set of objects, tabs. So basically these are the things that will give the access for the subject object tabs and other items in one constituents bundle. So in the navigation bar. So whatever you see right overall is basically the navigation bar. So Lightning app let you brand your apps with a custom color and the logo. So you can create your custom color. So right now I just use a default blue color itself. So you can create your custom color and even the logo you can be created for the particular app. So you can even include a utility bar and a Lightning app tab. So in a particular in your Lightning app. So this is the main thing. So how we design and how we implement the Lightning app. Give me a second. As I said, right? So basically, members of your org work on efficiently easy switching between tabs. So most important, the sales representative. So a lot of times, right? Basically, accounts, events, organization. So how about the sales manager or reports, dashboards make the top of the list. So depends on the scenarios of the user experience, right, or the client. So we'll design the app. So basically, it should be very responsive and it should be like within a click, you should get the overall details. So right now within this homepage, right? So basically, if you want to add account details or related tabs which is being related to this particular app, so we can add it directly. So we don't need of creating the new objects for that. So if you want to add, so basically if I go to the particular setup, go to app manager. So basically navigation item. So if you want to add, basically if you want to add the accounts tab, so you can add directly. So these are the requirement what we basically have. So sometimes what happens, right? We create basically as an audit as one of the if you think that we have two major app, one is for the business unit and one is for the audit. So a business unit has already the basically if you think that business unit has the related object as a risk, and the audit also need a risk as an object. For that, right, so we don't need of creating a separate. So basically, we can add basically if the risk is there, so we can just select and add in the basically the internal audit. Same thing if you want to add basically these are the custom objects. So if you want to add any of the things, right, so basically for the design or whatever is being required for your app, right, so we can add it. So basically, if you want to add a files basically as a separate or anything what you want to add it, we can add it. So based on requirement. So everything is based on the requirement. So whatever the things you want to add it, right? So there are a lot of things basically inbuilt in the Salesforce. So you can use it anytime and you can add it. Even you can create your item from the custom objects restrict and the related part. So this is a basic thing. So just to have the idea that okay, it's not restricted for this thing, only what we are done. So even standard objects or the anything we can add within the app. So each writing item has a navigation bar. So basically what we see on the top, right? So there is a navigation bar on the top of the page. Telling the user. So find what need using their its item name. So easy recognition. So once you open itself, it will show us the overall things so that whatever you want to click it. So complete action and the access records. So list off with a single click we can check it. So personalizing the navigation bar to suit the unique way they work. So think of navigation bar as a container for a set of items and the functionality. It allows there. So, but it's was the item within the change based on the app you are choosing. So whatever you choose it, right? Based on that, you can see the overall thing. So basically, first is basically the app name. So whatever you see on the top right. So when you open the basically the all right. So basically whatever you see here, right? That is basically the app name. So now if I open the service, right? So whatever you see it here, so service is an app name. So these are the standard. So app name displays in the left hand side. So basically left hand side of the navigation bar and the custom color and the branding. So basically that depends on the color. So makes the change unique and easy way to identify. So once you create a particular color pattern, right? So it's basically for the basic the tab color and the things what you want to use it. So you can change the color and check it how it been seen. So you can access the app. So basically other items app by clicking the app launcher. So this already know it. So with the app launcher. So basically once you click on that. So your user can create records. So that is one of the easiest way. And access records, recent records and list directly from the navigation. So from the navigation, right? So we can see all the my favorite or whatever is been added. So now if I click on this, right, the navigation, so it will show me the recent records or the recently I list. So now if I make it as a favorite, right, so that even the favorite items will comes in the first, then the recent record, then the recently list. So you can see all the things. So even we can create a basically directly the new object. So don't need of going to particular list and just to create. So if you want to create it, we can create it here itself. So, so what the things you put in the writing app? So most the standard object, including home, the name, charter, group, people, or the org. If you are using your org custom object, then basically if you want to add the lightning component tabs, the visual post tab, or a Converse app or the Visual Force app or web tabs. So anything, whatever is being required for your application, we can add. So you can even include the Lightning page tab. So utilize basically the Lightning voice. So if your org uses the utility features, right, you can enable a utility bar also. So I didn't work on the utility bar. So we will come back and we'll create a utility bar in the later once you started. So you can build your own demand apps by growing it to the new custom apps. So basically this is already the aspect. So basically once you click on the app launcher, so you can see overall items that is being displayed. So more meet the Lightning app builder. So basically, if you see on the top right, so first is basically we can view all the Salesforce apps what are being related. We can check it. So you can create a Lightning app or the connected apps. So you can build a Lightning app or the connected apps. So you can see the visibility of the Lightning experience here. So what are being available. So if you see the list of things, right? So it will show what are being available and which is being active. So these are the basically things which are being active in the particular basically this particular app. So all. So what does the visible in the lightning? So column means so you can see the app launcher. So the two basically two types. So one is classic and lightning. So we are right now just concentrating on lightning itself. So the check mark in the visible in the Lightning Experience column means that app is available in the Lightning Experience and in the basically in the app launcher that is fully functionable. So classic app that doesn't mean the doesn't have the click mark is visible in Lightning column are enabled only on the classic basically self of classic UI. So because we are working in the Lightning Experience, you won't find those classic only apps in the app launcher. So classic apps mark as visible in Lightning Experience are fully usable in the Lightning Experience. So they doesn't take advantage of an app enhanced for the Lightning Experience offer. So whenever you create a classic, right, so that marks is visible for the, but it doesn't take any advantage of the app enhancement in the particular app. So we have the simple app creation. So already we have done this. So creating, editing the lighting in the from the switch. So basically, if you want to create as an admin, so if you want an app, you can just have the particular app. So basically app description. So the image you want to display. So the color size. The basically you can select the checkbox for the auth theme for the default. So our options. So don't change anything. Utility don't add anything. So that's the same thing which I have done till now. So if you want to have a navigation, so what are navigation is being required. So assign to the system admin. So that particular system admin can assign it. Same thing once you create it. So once you save and finish, so once you search it, so it will be displayed on the app launcher. So this is a simple thing. So how we are done for the app creations. So if you have any questions on the app, so you can ask me. So this is just a simple lighting experience of basically customization. So one of the thing is basically custom app creations. So this is all setup the org we have done. So next basically how to create a customize the list views. So already we have seen the list view. So if you want to create your own list view, so how we can do that? So this most probably I'll create once basically once we create a overall concept. So just to view. So basically I most probably have shown all the things. One thing I didn't show in the list view is basically to how to create a new list view. So basically, right, every time based why we create a list view. So basically for the filter option. So based on the filter, right, so we create a specific list view so that it can be displayed for the particular user based on the requirement for that. So I'll create later, but I'll explain it right now. So this example you can take it for the account channel. So just select the tab and then select the list view, and we can create a list for channel customers. So whoever the users are there for the list view, right, so that it can serve us for the channel customers. So we need to add the filter so that it will equal to the channel customer channel. So then done and then so. So this one of the requirement basically we can follow. So this is the thing. So basically we display for the customer channel. So I'll if you want I can create it in the account tab. So the same thing what is being required. I'll just go to any of the physical vehicle. We don't have an account tab there. So if I go to services, right? So you can see the account tab. So right now, if I basically they have a lot of other tabs. So if you visit all accounts, right? So you can see all the accounts here. So we have the type. So basically, right now, what you are doing to create as a customer, basically customer channel as the particular list. So this type is basically is a pick list. Just want to check the data type. Yeah. So type is a pick list. I just go to try. So what I'll do, I'll just in the right hand side, right? I'll just create a new. So I'll put as customer channel. So we can have a same name. Channel customer. So as a list. And I'll make it for all user. You can see the list. So only I can see. So we can restrict. So basically, sometimes what happens, right? As a as a developer also, right? As a admin, I want to see this list, view, but not for the particular users. So only for me, I want to see. So that time I can select only I can see this list view. So basically to have basically for the report generation of the list view which I want to see it. Or else all user can see it, or we can have the say list in the group of users. So group of users is basically we need to have the group, we need to create a group. So based on the group, we need to have the rows. So based on the rows, we can assign it. So we have rows and the rows. All this I'll show you the basically in the security pattern. So in that how the things works. So right now I'll give the all the access and click on save. So once you click on save, right now if you see it shows all the things for this particular channel because we didn't add any filter. So right now because as a thing, right, it will show the all the things. So as a list view for the all because from there we have so even we can clone it. One is that we can create it directly. So once you save it, so just you need to add the filter. So basically we will add the filter. So equals to the, so basically the type is equal to the customer channel and then and save. So once you're done with that, so it will show only the customer channel. So we can even filter by selecting the save setting. So saving setting is very important for the security pattern. So that I'll teach you in the future. You also start with security. So right now just I'll add the filter. So account name, no, I need a type. There are a lot of fields. So I'll just create a type, select a type. So equals to the options of customer channel. So done and click on set. So once you save, right, it will show only the basically the customer channel. So now no other fields. So this is basically it is being created. So once I basically whenever I want to visit it, I can visit. Same way I can create multiple list view. So based on the requirement you want to set. So in this, if you want to change the display set, so you can select the display and you want to display anything else, you can display it. So this is how we create a basically we want to basically we create a new list view based on the scenario we want to select it. So we can select the fields as I said, right? We can select the fields to display. So based on the selections, we can so that particular field need to be displayed. So one more is that in this list view, right, we have one more option. So if I show it a minute. So basically right now it's basically based on the this basic assignment which come from the account name. So if I decrease, right, so alphabetical order it will increase. So right now if I go to all channel, so right now I want to show all the basically right now it is like mixed up, right? So I want to show the all the customer direct. So the same. So basically it will come in the order. So first two are blank, so it doesn't have any type. So remaining we have the type. So it will show in this one. So if you want to go by the location billing state, so we can say set. So basically if you want to see the owner alias, we can see the owner alias. So basically it's just for alignments for the basically as a user or a client, right? So a lot of times for the analytics this they need this. So we don't need of having any filter thing. So just by a click we can arrange the basically the overall ascending or descending order scenarios. So we go with XOQ or QL or we go with the query languages, right? We have a basically we go with we have one logic known as ascend and descent. So based on that, it will be chaining the tables. So this is about the listing. So even we have one more option for the cart. So basically we create a cart chart here. So basically it's like based on the requirement. So right now this will come in the reports and dashboards. I'll teach you in the reports and dashboards still. So how the things works in the chart and the related part. So right now just want to show, because if you go to lightning of opportunities tab, right? So you can create one chart. So basically donor chart so that it will show pipeline total value, and we can filter it based on the requirement. So just I'll just show it so that it will looks how it will see it. So later we'll work on our app too. So once I create it, so right now I don't have overall data. A lot of things have to be done. So but still I want to show this so that once I do it in the our particular app, right, so that it will be easy for you. So right now we don't have opportunity here. So even one more option here, we can search it directly here. Opportunities. So it will open the opportunities anywhere in the tab. So just view all opportunities. That will show all the opportunities. So we see that we have one show chart. So we can click on the show chart. So you can see the pipeline or chart, financial year and everything. So we can pipeline the chart, or we can go with the chart and go. We can go with the stage. So this is basically for overall whatever is there in particular. This now if I change it to the close next month, so it will show in. So okay, we don't have any data here. So if you go with opportunity pipeline, so let's see, yeah. So we see that particular things have been changed. So we can see the chart immediately. So one more is that we can create a new chart. So this is one of the benefit. We don't need to go to reports and generate it. So we can see the basically the overall chart here itself. Whatever the reports you want to see it. So records, total wins. So this is one of the existing and it's very interesting to use it. Wait a minute. So all let's click on that icon. Second icon. And second icon. So the setting icon, you can create a new chart. So this is a chart name. So we'll follow the same thing, what has been the requirement. So we'll use a doc chart and we'll use a aggregate type as sum and the aggregate field as account and account name to field by. Chart aggregate by average, so the sum account and account name and click on save. So once I click on save, so it will create our new chart with that particular name. So basically pipeline total value. So this is how basically we create a chart. So if you want to create, so if you want to see, if you want to change this also, right, to horizontal, we can change this to horizontal. Or even for the vertical, we can change it to vertical. So very interesting. So if you want to delete this particular chart, we can delete. But these are the standards, so we can't delete that particular chart. So but we can see the different basically the display. So everything depends on the requirement, what you want to use it. So very interesting as the analytics, right? So a lot of times they'll ask for the reports. So we can just take this report and we can send it. So we can take the screenshot and we can send the reports to our manager. So based on the list you want to show it. So we don't need of creating basically the code level or anything. So just by a click, we can see the overall reports. Based on the scenarios, we can see the overall reports. So this is about basically the simple list view. So one more option is there in the list view, right? So we can even clone it. So even we can clone the list view. So that if we clone and we can based on the condition, we can change it. So we can rename sharing settings there. We'll explain that. So what exactly the sharing setting and how it is being implemented. So we can edit the filter. So displays we already seen it. So all the things we are. Okay. So this is very important because a lot of times, right, the client says that I want to list view in this way, I want to list view in that way, or something that based on the filter they want to have a display. Sometimes they say just send me the report. So if you want to send a report, we can send the chart itself so that it looks good way to implement the client. So as I said, this already a response, so we can customize the record highlights. So compact layer, what do compact layer? So a lot of basically right now the question had come. So what exactly it does? So why it is being required in the user experience? So just to explain in a simple way, right? So this is a thing that is being provided by the Salesforce itself. So compact layer controls which fields the user seeing the highlight panel at the top of the record. Those are controlled by the fields that appears in the expandable lookup like card you can see when you are honor or a link in the record details. So in the details section that can be expand and activity in the activity timeline. So a lot of times what main thing why we use highlight panel is that as a mobile response, right? Immediately when I open it shows what is being required for us. So we don't need go to the bottom and check what is being there. So right now I want a mobile number. So I can just check it here itself in the highlight panel. So I don't want to search in the details tab and what is a mobile number. So first view always is like first view what we see is that is the basically the implementation. Right now I want to go to website. So just I can click the website and it can be redirected to the particular website. I don't need to come down and check what is the website related to that. So this is the main requirement of the highlight panel. So compact layer basically help make your team more proactive by presenting them in the key record information so they can easily manage their work. So this is one of the main things. So for example, so mobile number or region of an account or also stage or account, so the ownership fields and the opportunity. With compact layer, you can highlight whether whatever your users need to see at the glance when they look at the record. So as a page layouts, right? So they can separate the compact layout for each object. However, example for the opportunity record page. So the first several times, so the object compact layout appears in the object record highlight panel and in the expand lookup card. So if you see that, this is the thing that looks in the opportunity. So same thing if I go and check the opportunity, right? So just I click on that. So in you can see the overall basically the highlight panel here. So creation already has shown. So basically how to create a new compact layout. So basically go name with the highlight panel so that it can be used in the particular page. So you want to create your own compact layout, we can create it. So it's not mandatory to give with a specific name. We can give any name for particular highlight panel for the compact layouts. So record details in the page layout. So this is basically the information that we need to explain in the team. So related tab, if you want to add the record pages, so in the details tab. So this all functionality I have shown you. So just to have a high level experience because page layouts will revisit lot of time. So whenever we come to the specific thing, right? So we'll revisit lot of times for the page layout so that we can see how the things works in the page layout and we'll edit lot of time. So just to show in the very high level, so customize the field during the record details. So first is basically the screen. So this says the upper position of the screen one and the record space layout to the lower of the case. So basically what you want to have it. So we say this as a upper position and we say this as the lower position of the screen so that it will show the particular analysis. So we have highlight. This already we have seen it. So if you want to have some page layout, right? So if you want to have a just we need drag and drop. So if you want to remove, just move it up. So that can be removed. So if you want to edit, so even we have one more option known as setting icon. So basically, if you want to make it as read only. So then sometimes based on requirement, right? So we make it as read only. So that time basically we can have the access. So if I say email ID, so once it is created, I can make it as read only. So it is required. So once I also this required, we can't change it. So let's say website. So this one we can make it so we can read only. So once we make it read only, we can't change it. So once it's being created, we can't change that particular action. So this is one of the settings. So we have other settings in the future. We'll run other profiles in the security. So we can say if you want to make it as required for specific, if you think that I don't want to make it basically when we create it. So I want to make it once we have done the required. So once the set, one of the requirement required, we can do it is in the when we create a particular object. So later, if specific we want to make it required, we can just have a setting and make it as required field. So that will be a required field in the particular page. So we have a lot of symbols. So basically, we say as this particular red star. So the field must have the save the record, but isn't required in the page layout itself. So it must be the value that is being saved. So we can see this column blue color. So the field must be included. So whatever you see it here. So basically red column, blue column. So red, blue. So if you see right, the simple color symbol, what is that indicates? So red with the star, right? So the field must be a value to the saved record, but isn't required on the page layout itself. So that is basically red. So we see both the things that use both. So they could include on the page layout because the administrator configured the field. It is universally required or the Salesforce automation field required. Although you can't remove such fields, you can move them to the different location. So you can't remove this field. So you must be there so that it is being required. So you can see the field. So this field is controlling depending field. So this all will come once you start with the uh, controlling field and the dependent field will start basically once you start with the relationship. So field is only so that will come in this simple. So if you want to create, so one more thing that if you want to create your own page layout, we can create our own page layout and we can align based on the design what you want to display. So a lot of times we create our own page layout for the different record types. So that I'll teach you how to create record types in the related pattern. So assigning a page layout to the profile. So we have one more option. So basically, right. So once you create it, right. So we need to align basically page properties is there. So it shows in the console. So if I go back to the page layout, right, we have page layout assignment. So once I click on the page layout assignment, so we can give the permission for the users. So which page layout you want to create. So right now I have only one page layout. So if I have two page layout, right? So basically for the which profile you want to our different page layout, we can create it. So right now, if I say that this is a college cover. So I created for the college. Now, if I say for the student, right, I want to create a different page layout. So I can create different page layout and I can assign that particular profile to that particular uh, uh, student details. So we can create and we can set the profile to that particular user data. So basically this one before and after design we change it. So this is about overall basically about the how we create and we basically the page layout alignment. So we have done it real time. So still we'll revisit once we have it. Buttons basically I'll not go right now. Buttons and the links and the quick actions. So once we have some actions, I'll teach you basically once we come with some of the automation thing. So I'll teach you how to create a button and the link. So our quick action works. So related part in the later concept. So this is all about the basically the custom apps. So all the functionality within the custom apps and the related pattern. So this is one of the important things to understand. So basic thing, but it's very important. So basically to understand overall concept in the basically in the Salesforce. So right now, basically I worked in a lot of things in the if you go to Trailhead, basically we work on a lot of things in the standard objects. So but I'm just working with a custom object so that you can see the real time scenarios and you can learn a lot of things. Next is overall of basically Salesforce objects and fields. So let's go in the deep to understand this concept. So overall of the Salesforce and the fields. So this is very, very important. So as a developer, right? So as a developer or a admin panelist, right? Database is very important. So this is basically the tables and the columns. So whatever we say, right? Objects and tables. So the structured data. So for example, the central object in the Salesforce data model represents the accounts, the company's organization, including your business. So such as customer partners and the participants. So the record term record determines the particular occurrence of an object. So basically, if I say as account like IBM, so that represented by an account object. So the record is analyzed in the row in the database table. So what I say that record details. So basically, that describes a particular occurrence of an object. So objects are already created by the Salesforce are called standard objects. So this is one of the important things. So as a Salesforce template, so as a basic freshers, they'll ask this question: what is a standard object? What is a custom object? So record that has been already created by the Salesforce is basically the standard objects. So objects that can create in the organization with the user interface or with the metadata API, we say as a custom object. So right now, we create the custom object basically like colleges, courses, faculty members, students. These are all customers. So one more we have external objects. So object that created that maps the data stored outside your organization, which says external. So this is basically external object basically used when we start with the API connections. So if you have the third API, basically if you have three layers in the API, so that we create a external objects and we link to the particular our org. So basically we store in the data. We map as a simple way we map it. So while the documentation describes overall available in the API, so your application works only on the object that is being authorized to access. That is very important. So programmatical access to objects is determined by the object defined in your organization. So your organization configuration, your user permission, the access setting, everything is done by the system admin. So your data sharing model or the other factors related to the specific to these particular objects. So we have a lot of things. So basically, a few objects are read only. So read write objects. So I'll show you the real time example. So in the same example, so that you'll learn on the sharing, profile setting, and everything. So just go to have a simple thing. So primitive data types, field types. So API field setting, required fields, system fields occurrence. So we have component fields. So we have custom objects, just in custom fields. Some of the API performance and the relationship, the field external objects, big objects, and the object interface. So these are the things that we are going to concentrate. So in the high level, so that you'll understand the things. So primitive data types. So this is one of the basic things. So any of the data types, if you use a Java coding, if you use Apex, if you use even if you go with Oracle, MySQL or Python or any languages. So the primitive data type is there. So basically we say as basically byte, button, like insert, or we say integer, string. So all the things comes under the basically the primitive and non-primitive. So we have two things, so primitive and non-primitive data type. Well, but in this particular thing, we go with the primitive data type. So basically, base 64 is there. So if you want to have a binary digit, so basically we use a base 64. So Boolean, so everyone knows Boolean, true and false. So we have byte. So basically, set of bytes we say. So we have data. So data is there basically to have each object we say. So is that defines the data value such as activity date in the event object. So we see the date and we have datetime. So basically we see the datetime in the activity datetime of created date, last modified date, basically state, we see that last date, created date, right? So if I go to the specific object now, if I go to particular app, so once I click on that, if I go to colleges, so you can see the created date, but with the time. So we say this type is datetime. So right now, if I click on this, so in this we don't have date. So if I go to student, so this is basically data. If we click on this, if I see the date of birth, so okay, I'll just add the date of birth, add in number. So this is basically only the date type. So that's the main thing. So in data time is to show the date and time for the users. So that's the data. So that depends on the scenarios you want to. So we have double. So we learn once if you are coming in the basically in the practical section, right? Basically in the developer, we learn on the double values. So how the things works in a double. So scale, we use the scale. So maximum number of digit to the right hand side of the, and we have discussion for the number of digits includes in the left hand right of the basically right of the digital space. So I'll show you in a lot of example in the later. So we have integer. So we have long. So these are the basically we change with the digit number of digits you want to display it. So large integer. So we have a string. So that is a basic concept. Is basically used as a test. We have time. So these are basically the primitive data types. So that is basically we use in the Salesforce. So field type we have. So that's one we started with the primitive data types that is been inbuilt in the lot of functionality. Field type basically we use it. So basically address, the calculator, combo, the currency, email, ID, junction ID list, location. So a lot of things we have in the field type. So any field type we want to have it, we can basically use it in the query language. So we learn that and then once we start it, this all comes under basically as a formula things, right? So that time basically we use it. So to understand on the deep, we'll once you start with the developer console, right? So that time I'll explain the each thing with the examples. So API field properties there. So basically auto number create. So these have been used in the Pacific, basically like created or delete filter group ID loop. So this all we can add in the basically in the query language. So I'll teach you step by step how this is been related. So this is not in the admin panel. So just to understand, we just show it. So we have the required field. We know what is required. So required field must not be a null value. So this rule affected to create update calls. So when you create a call, automatically systematically promotes the data is been content for the required fields for such system field and the object ID fields. Similarly, if a required field has a default value, so it will take the scenarios which has been defined. So even I'll teach you how to create a default value so that it will be useful. Next is the system fields. So this is all the system fields. Delete is delete created by created date, last modified by ID, last modified system modified. This always been required in our use case so that we can see the overall thing. So we can see the user interface. So if we go to user interface, we can optimize that. So we can enable the set audit fields update upon the record creation and the update records. So I'll not go to make any changes because we are not working on that particular thing. So if you want to make the changes based on the requirement, we can change it. Query thing, I'll teach you later so that once you have some specific data, right? So you can show the query records. Frequency use, so basically owner ID record type. So this is a little bit high level. I'll not go in the deep because this all things we didn't use it till now. So this all things we use in the basically in the as a developer we use it for the query. So this are the basic thing. So custom objects, let's go with the basic thing what we are learning. So as I said, that the main thing in the custom object is the naming conversions. So client want a specific naming conversion that we follow. So first is the naming conversions. So basically, right, whenever you create, right, so which will be basically the user, you should be a label. So basically, when you create any custom, basically the object, right? So keep it in I as capital and the we say this as in English what we say. Some word is there. I forgot that. So there's a simple thing, right? So just use as a capital case for a first word and the remaining as a smaller case. Just follow this. Don't keep as capitals for all. So that indicates the different scenarios. So every time whenever you use the naming convention, use in this way. Relationship, I'll show you once you start with the relationship. So whenever you have the standard object, just keep follow it. If you see, like just see the standard object and just follow it. So that the naming convention for the custom object. Same thing, audit field for custom object. You can see sharing buttons, tags, and the related pattern within that. Already we have created custom objects, so we know exactly how the things works in a custom object. So custom field, so we have seen how the custom field works and the default and the things related to that. So relationship will come back. So fields and types will come back. External objects is that, so that also will come back once you start with API connections that will come with the developer. So bit object that is basically out of the scope. I don't want to explain on that. So object interface is there. So basically it defines the business logic for implemented. So this also is basically out of the scope. So it's not being required right now. So these are the things. So metadata type is there. So I'll explain later. So once we go with some of the basic example, right? So I'll explain it at that time. Yes, standard objects, data model. Schema is there. So data model, schema building. So once you start with the relationship, right, I can show the schema building. So these are the standard objects which is present in the overall Salesforce. So there are a lot of standard objects within the Salesforce. So these are the basic things which I want to show overall thing. So this was a module 3. Most probably you are able to understand and all the things. So theory today is basically theory concept. So it's like some boring but some interesting. Why? Because we are already done the practical. So this will be interesting for you. So that most probably you are able to understand. So I went with little bit high level with theory. So if it's out of the scope, no issue. So basically, once you start with the real-time example, basically I'll explain a lot of things. So if you have any questions, you can ask. So still I repeat, so complete this task if you're not completed, because next is basically a big list and the advanced. So if I show the next topics, right? So we are going with the advanced field data validation. So page that already we have covered it. Any questions? Yeah. So advanced field data validation page layout already we have covered it. So in this scenario, so still if anything is want to add it, I'll show you how to create it. So main thing the page pick list and the field dependency custom formula field. So these are main the validation group. So these are major things we are going to concentrate from tomorrow's section. So before that, take the time and just complete it so that I you will not be delayed to understand the other because we'll use the same object, same. Sometimes we may change the field type later in the basically based on the requirement, which I think that okay, this field can be changed into in this way. So be ready with the real-time example so that it will be easy to understand. So that's it from my end. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. Hope everyone are able to understand that. So the main thing that theory concept, basically the practical concept. Theory is fine. You can revisit the link and you can read it. Because this practical, basically not getting any internet because this is basically the same. Basically, I designed the overall practical section. So because of that, just concentrate on this. So that it will be easy for you to understand. So if you have any questions, you can ask me.
Sir, actually, one thing I want to ask. So we have created a student and faculty on that
Yeah.
not coming the same format. May I show the screen
Yes.
sharing? Sir, if I open this
Wait.
and
I
click
just
on
I
the
didn't give. Wait a minute. I didn't give the access. I just stopped sharing and give the access.
okay.
Yeah. Try it now.
So this format is come to here is a DOB and
No, you didn't
faculty.
share. Can you share it, please?
Oh, just hold on a second. So now it is.
Yeah. I mean,
So, sir, actually, we created this. This came to faculty DOB here and faculty email ID same here. But we go to the same on a student and click on that. We saw that it is DOB is here. So how can we
yeah,
change the
we
same from
can
the same
arrange it.
format?
So go to edit object at the top.
Uh,
So go to the page layout, page layout. So click on that. So come down. So your DOB is in the third column, right? Just drag and drop on there.
okay, right side.
Yeah, right answer and make this in the bottom. Student name. So however you want to arrange it, you can arrange it.
Okay, thank you, sir. Got it.
Yeah.
And second question is that, sir, we have change a logo as well also. If we need to change the logo of you have make it WebShala
So which
logo.
logo you want to change? App
Uh,
logo or the tab logo?
just main logo where you have make
Main
it. Just
logo,
I
then you
make
should go.
Salesforce logo.
Yeah, the main logo, if you want to change it, you can go to app manager. So you can go to edit and you can upload the logo. So go to setup. Just save this so that it not be changed. Save this first. Go to setup, go to home. So search for the app manager. So come down. So CMS, just click on edit. So here you can upload it.
Okay,
So you
headphone.
can click on, yeah, you can click on clear and you can upload the, if
Okay,
you
sir,
clear
got it.
it, right? So you can clear it
Yeah.
and you can upload it.
Okay,
Whatever
got
image
it,
you
sir.
want to show. Okay. Yeah, fine. Anyone has anything else to share?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks. So we are still in base one, 1.5. So once you come with advanced things, so that will come to base two. So just be ready to learn a lot of things. So be strong on the base. Yeah, thanks everyone. So have a great day. So if anything is there, just put in the WhatsApp so that we can connect. Yeah, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.